So good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Rachel Salt Marshall, the Black Lady Contractor. Question of the day is this. When is it ever a good time for a client to solicit services from a subcontractor hired by the main contractor on their project? Never. Never. Anything that you need done within that project, whether it be outside of the original scope and or whether it be within the original scope as far as of work, meaning that it's something needed. However, it's during the ongoing project, okay? And you want to change something, you want to add something or whatever, and you want that particular subcontractor in which to do the work outside of that GC. Big time no. Anything requiring to be done within that project should, of course, be brought up to the contractor of record. The one that pulled the permit, the one that you paid the deposit to, the one that you signed the contract with, not the subcontractors. Some of y'all are like, well, I mean, if I just want a particular thing done, maybe I don't want to necessarily use that, GC as far as for the work, and it's my house, so why can't I do that? But here's the thing. When something goes wrong because of your mischievousness, you're coming back to that GC in order for it to be reconciled. Even though this was something that was done outside of the general contractor's knowledge, okay? Never a good time to do that while a contract is ongoing. Here's the other thing. I've run into some janky ass subcontractors over the years where, we may be on a project, somebody walks up and they're like, "Oh, you do that? Can I have your card?" Now, a good subcontractor is going to say, "Well, no, this is not my project, but you can talk to the GC and, y'all can talk or whatever, and you go that route." But then you have others that are like, "Oh yeah," and they run out there and shit and give them their card and can on and, and attempt to, grab that business. But that person, while, yeah, they may be doing a beautiful job as far as on this property under the licensed GC, because 9 times out of 10, that sub may not necessarily be licensed, okay? But the work that's being done on the property is falling under that GC's license, who is licensed and insured. So then you get this dude, to come over to your property, and you're under the assumption that they're licensed because you saw them working on this project. However, they're not, okay? And so it's never a good thing, even a, passerby or whatever, again, for a subcontractor to do that. And again, most will refer them right over to the GC. Hey, talk to her, she's the head honcho as far as on the job, or talk to him or whatever. But again, you have some that are just slimy like that. As it relates to a client or the homeowner for a project in which that you're working on, you want to make clear to that homeowner that, hey, my subs, these are my subs. I hired them. Anything that you need outside of the purview as far as of the original contract or whatever, you need to talk to me as far as about it, not any of them. Because again, guys know how to act under, a GC. However, because they're not licensed, and yeah, they may do, side jobs and things like that, but What do I always tell you guys? You never assume. You never assume. And so therefore, you know, what happens in those situations, and I've had this happen to me before, where someone turned around and after the project was completed and everything, they had conversations as far as with one of my subs, and then in turn hired my sub and wished to do work as far as on the property, and then the shit didn't turn out right. And then I'm receiving a phone call. I never knew that you even talked to him. I didn't even know that you hired him as far as for anything. Why wouldn't you have come to me as far as about that? Well, I didn't think. Well, now you know. And that's one of the reasons why I have verbiage as far as within my contract that talks about, you know, soliciting the services of a subcontractor while a project is ongoing. And that's to, you know, prohibit a client as far as from even thinking about doing it, because it's not ethical. Neither is it ethical as far as for a subcontractor to in turn engage in a conversation as far as with the client about taking on that additional work outside of the job currently being performed. It's just foul in and of itself, you know? And so again, it's never a good time. You know, that subcontractor wants additional business, then hell, you go right on out there and solicit them services just like I did. You market yourself, you know, you shoot your videos and can on, you talk to people, you know, you deal honestly, you deal ethically, you get that 5-star BBB rating and so on and so forth, okay? That's what you do in order to get where I am. But to, in a sense, ride my coattail and then jump off when somebody, you know, says, okay, can you do this, you know, and we not involve her? And then you turn around and you do that. You participate in that. It's like ethically foul to me. You know what I'm saying? And so again, while, you know, most homeowners say, well, it's my house and I can call who I want to call and do business with who I want to do business with, and so on and so forth. But when it's a GC that has these subcontractors and brought these subcontractors into your property in order to do the work as far as in there, it's always customary to talk to the GC and not attempt to solicit the business of the subcontractor that was hired by that GC. Because what you end up doing is creating a hostile environment between your GC and your subcontractor. Because as a GC, we don't like that shit. We don't. It's foul on its face. So again, my answer is, it's never a good time, and you should never do it without talking to the GC in which that you were confident in, you hired, you signed the contract, you paid the deposit to them. You have a conversation with them as far as about that, and then you go from there. Other than that, we ain't responsible for shit that goes awry as a result of you and your mischievousness, okay? So let's be good homeowners, good business owners, you know. Let's deal ethically as far as with our licensed builders. Let's love each other, and we'll love you back. And make sure that we churn out the most beautiful project as far as for you. But don't stab your contractor in the back. And don't create bad blood between your contractor and your subcontractors by doing such a thing. So anywho, y'all, again, it's your girl Rachel Saltmarshall, the Black Lady Contractor. And I hope that helped some homeowner, and I'm out.